And everybody are so friendly and nice.
Wow, the rink is, I don't think you could wish for a better one, because it's a perfect four-sheeter ice rink with good playing conditions and good stones. It's hard to find some of those, a rink of this kind in many of the European countries where we play at. So yeah, positively surprised about the rink.
One of the only dedicated curling rinks in the Southern Hemisphere. Well, to have something like this in a town of 100, 150 people is great.
And we move inside now, the Maniototo Curling Rink, and you heard from some of the players past. It's been 10 years of competition here at the Winter Games, and we see the officials now measuring for pre-game stone position. Our feature game today is going to be Japan taking on Australia 2 in Pool B, and there we see Team Japan, Masako Den and Naofumi Den. They are from Karizawa, which is one of the homes of Olympic curling. Curling came back, men's and women's curling, onto the Olympic program in 1998. And that competition was played in their hometown of Karizawa. This is a big international competition for them, and I'm sure they're excited. First round of play coming up now in Pool B. Our 12-team field is split into 2 pools of 6. The teams will play round robin, so each team will play 5 games. Top 3 from each pool will advance into the semifinal phase on the weekend. Japan will be facing Australia 2, and there we see Matt Panussi and Jennifer Westhagen, the Australian runner-up team in their national mixed doubles championships. Matt and Jennifer are from Melbourne, Victoria Curling Association. There we can see the officials. So prior to the game, the teams each throw 2 last stone draws. They're trying to get it closest to the middle, and the team with the closest distance earns the advantage of last rock in the first end of the game. Mixed doubles curling came onto the Olympic program in 2018 as a full medal sport in Pyeongchang, first time ever. And in the lead up to that, a lot of the rule changes that got mixed doubles onto the Olympic program were trialed here at the QRC Winter Games. Teams getting ready in the customary exchange of handshakes and gifts. It's a very sportsmanlike sport. The spirit of curling is one of the central principles of the whole sport. You'd rather play fairly and lose rather than play unfairly and win. So there's a real spirit of fellowship and kinship among the players, and I'm sure as we get through the week, we will see that expressed in all kinds of ways. I can tell you that in speaking with some of the athletes last night in the pre-game opening ceremonies, and it was a wonderful opening ceremony here in Naseby, the Maniototo area school gave a potpourri for the athletes and really welcomed them to New Zealand, that the athletes love curling. They love curling here, and they love playing here, they love being here. It's a real treat and experience. And in having a look here at 3 games will be going on. That's Tabitha Peterson from Team USA. We'll keep an eye on all of the games, but our feature game this morning is Japan and Australia. Mixed doubles, if you didn't see it at the Olympics, it's fast and furious curling. Each team has 5 shots rather than the customary 8 in men's and women's. One player throws the first and the 5th shot. The other player throws the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th shot. We can see that the stones are being set into the stationary positions. So those rocks are counting stones. They're available to score, but they are preset in this position, and the idea here is to generate all kinds of rocks in play and offense. The basic idea of mixed doubles curling, same as in men's and women's curling. Get your stone closest to the middle. Team closest to the middle after all the shots are thrown scores the points. So there we see the yellow stone in the back of the rings, the stationary stone. Great look at it from this overhead angle. There we see the silver fern right on the button. If you hear me refer to the button, that's the centermost circle, target area. The red circle, you'll hear the players talk about the 4-foot circle, the 8-foot circle, and the 12-foot circle. That's the red, the white, and the blue circles. The playing area that we're looking at, in curling terminology terms, is called the house. So if you hear the players saying it's short of the house or it's in the house, that's what they're talking about. The stones are made of granite, and there's a great look at them. We see the handles on it. Underneath the stones, there's a thin running surface that actually glides across the top. And these things are pretty heavy. They're close on 40 pounds or 18.8 kilos. They come from Scotland, from Elsa Craig. And they've made it all the way here to Naseby for this mixed doubles curling competition here at the QRC Winter Games. Players taking their final warm-up slides. We've heard the officials say 1 minute to play, so we're just about to get going here in the first round of the mixed doubles curling competition here in Naseby. Matt Panussi taking his final practice slide. The brushing that the players will do clears the path of the stone, and it also lets the stone travel a further distance. And so Australia will have last rock advantage in the first end, which means Japan will throw first. The players can choose whether it's the male player or the female player that throws 1 and 5 or 2, 3, and 4. So Japan is electing Naofumi. The male player is going to throw the first stone. And there we see Australia with the hammer. They have last rock advantage. We call that the hammer. Generally means you should score on the end. We will be playing 8 ends. And the interesting thing about mixed doubles, you can change the player rotation every single end. So now Fumi's going to throw the first rock here in the first end. In the next end, he and Masako can switch, and Masako could throw the first stone. So that's one of the unique rule differences between mixed doubles curling and men's and women's curling. I think you're going to like it. Well, here we go. Now Fumi's going to try to draw this stone in front of the Australian stone in the back of that red 4-foot circle, just to cut off the path. And for a first up effort, that is a great shot.
Okay.
Corner frozen.
Then we come this way, don't you?
We could see from that first
Where
delivery.
is it? Back 4?
It's just corner frozen on ours.
Back 4.
Yeah, I like the in-turn.
All right. I'll take a little tighter ice.
Ice conditions look really good this morning. Lots of curl, lots of pace. That's what the players are looking for. Here's Matt Panussi.
Line's tight.
Weight's pretty close.
Line's tight.
I think we gotta go.
Go. Really gotta go. Really gotta go.
See this stone over
We're on the
curling.
guard.
It's light.
Whoa.
Yep, the stone is a little light
Sorry,
and a
Dan.
little narrow.
Came
He
out a
wanted
bit
to go
light there.
around that red stone. Comes up and taps the guard.
It came out a little light.
Well, I wasn't thinking if we wanted to split the guard. Maybe we wanted to split the guard.
I don't think it's too bad. You can swing in a long way there.
One of the wonderful things about curling coverage is that we've got microphones on the athletes, so
Yours
we're going to
was a
listen in.
71.
Theirs was?
Yours.
Misako Den, and this is a husband and wife combination. She's playing that in-turn side as well, trying to take that same track that Panussi threw. This again also over curling. It's just going to wreck on that guard. So Japan's still lying 1.
I wouldn't read much into my time because it wasn't
Stones are
very
really
good.
accumulating up front.
Just come down to it. You can over curl to it if you
Which
need
turn?
to. So,
Which turn?
out turn, for sure.
It's a good look at it. The red stone belongs to Japan. They're lying 1. Look at those guards in front. Lots of defense. Westhagen attempting to draw around the outturn side.
Weight's good. 6-7.
Sit in front of that Japanese stone.
Close. Room.
All
close.
there. 7-8.
Whoa.
7-8.
Whoa.
Panussi says 7-8. That's communicating the weight of the shot. They usually use a numbering
Oh, no
system.
worries.
1 through 11 to
What was that one?
shorthand
53.
each other the distance that they think it's
Good
going
throw.
to travel. Not quite exactly what she was looking for. Just a fraction heavy, but a pretty good shot there from Jennifer Westhagen. The Australians have got 2 stones in the rings now.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Saka would love to stick one right on top of her own stone if she can. See them both sweeping now for distance, but this one just over curling.
You're going to have to take a wider line.
Does block the path to the shot rock, though. We call the shot rock the stone that's closest to the exact middle.
You're gonna have to
Right
take a
now,
wider
that
line,
red stone
guy.
is shot
Go
rock.
there a bit. So give yourself plenty of room. It'll finish at the end.
Remember, the team with the stone closest to the middle at the end of all of the stones being thrown gets at least 1 point. You get another point for every stone you've got closer than your opponents. Big stone here for Jennifer Westhagen.
Yep.
Weight's good.
Yeah, line.
Line only.
Yeah, line.
They're concerned about the line of the shot.
Yeah,
They
line.
need to get by the guards. Well, they're safely by the guards. How's the weight? This is a pretty good looking stone here from Westhagen. Will it stop in time?
Nice throw.
Actually fractionally overswept that. Jennifer was a little worried
was
about
that?
wrecking on that
60.
guard. Still looks like Japan is
Call on
line
line.
1.
Just-
You're going to have to check on his shot. I don't know.
I think it might be red.
Okay, well,
Yep, I think
Pretty
so too,
close.
Matt.
Well, we can wick ours in. Little wick and we'll be shot.
do you want to do that, or do you want to try to get to the inside?
13番ぐらい
On
に
that
投
way?
げ
I
たか
think
ら
that's harder.
ラインはいいよ Yes. Yes.
Wide track here
Yes.
from
もうちょい曲
Misako.
げて Yes. 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 伸ばしたい Yes. 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 Yes.
Well clear of the guard.
あ、もういいよ
Good alternative shot, though. Takes away that tap that Matt Panucci was talking
We
about.
either clear or we try to come in here.
今間ぐらいない
My Japanese is limited, but I heard
What do you
Misako
like?
say
I think
Abanai.
it's too late to
That's
clear, don't
Japanese
you?
for
I agree, yeah.
dangerous.
Let's just come around if we
Japan certainly in a bit of danger here. There's lots of Australian stones in play. They've got the hammer here in the first.
次なおちゃん
Any curls more on this side?
Little.
Oh, I
Westhagen
think weight's up.
playing the intern.
Little, not too bad.
Room.
Call line.
Yeah, line. Hard line. Wait
Panucci
only.
trying to hold the line
Yeah,
straight.
line. Yeah, line.
Westhagen likes the line. How's the weight?
All the way.
Great looking line on this shot. Has she got enough weight to get it into the button area? Westhagen joins the sweep with Panucci. Fantastic line, comes up
That's
just
real
3
tough to
feet
get in
short.
there with enough weight to get it down the shot.
There you
Check
see.
your shot.
1, 2, 3, 4 Australian stones in the rings, but they're all out counted by that one Japanese counter.
Yeah, it's definitely
こ
red.
っち守る
If Australia could ever run one of those front stones in and blast that red one out of there, they could get a bundle.
Oh, that's fine.
そうだね
So some danger here for Naofumi Den of Japan. Trying to defend that shot. See, we're down to the final stones of end number 1. Japan, Australia here at the QRC Winter Games. Opening round action of this 5-day mixed doubles curling competition.
あ、いいかなもう曲がりすぎ
Well, throws up another guard. So, how does Australia get that red one out? It's kind of a risk-reward thing for the Australians. You could just concede the one, but
Okay. Let's try that.
you kind of want to try some kind of a circus shot and see if you can't spring the red one out of there. About the only way to do it. Let's listen to Matt.
I don't know if I can get to that with enough weight.
It's the same shot I just played.
I don't think this is going to drag. I think it's going to go by it, if anything. I think we've got to try it, but
Is it going to take the red out?
赤から押してくるし
what do you mean?
Is it for 1 or is it for 5?
For one.
Well, I like the tap better. I just played it. I
Okay.
think it's there.
All right. We'll give it a shot.
Okay, Jennifer a little more cautious than Matt. I think Matt was
He threw
thinking
a
about the
58
run
round
in.
there.
But Matt says it's not a shot for 5, it's a shot for 1. So
I think
Jennifer
I need
says
about a 60 to do a tap.
if it's only a
You
shot
have
for
to play
1,
pretty tight to the guard.
better
Where's
play the
line you
tap
took?
instead.
I took the corner of the sheet.
Okay.
Mixed doubles curling. You don't have somebody at the other end holding the brush all the time for an aim point. So we heard Jennifer say just through at the corner of the sheet. That's the line that Matt's looking for. He's just going to try and tap the stone that Jennifer threw, front of the 8
go
foot.
if you need to. Low line.
Tap it up for a single
Low
point.
line.
Wade's close.
No line, Jen.
Wade's close.
No line.
Waiting for it to
No,
curl.
no line at all. Don't worry.
Just that little bit of extra weight holds the line a little bit straighter. That was the right weight for the shot, but it just did not curl enough, so it will be, we believe, a steal of 1. Yes. Single point for Japan. So that first stone of the end survived for the entire end, and it's a stolen point for the Japanese. After 1 end of play, they jump in front. Stealing the point, Japan leads Australia 2 by a score of 1-0.
Are we having a team meeting, or
Say again?
are you coming down with me?
No, because we've got hammer.
We're in charge of our own rocks.
Okay.
But are you coming down, or?
No.
Discussion there between Matt and Jennifer, how they want to play the second end. Teams are playing on time clocks, so they do have to manage their available time a bit carefully. 1 minute between ends to get the set stones into position. Each team also has 1 power play, which we'll explain when one of the teams uses them, where the preset stones can go into a different, more offensive position. Australia will retain last rock advantage here in the second end. An entertaining first. Australia had something going, but the Japanese, after that great first stone corner freeze, let's see if now Fumi Den can do that again here in the second.
Thank you.
Oh, very, very nice. Not corner frozen this time, but a better line right behind that center guard. Good look at it there. That's a great spot.
That's okay.
So now Fumi doing a nice job of getting the end set up with a great first stone in both the first and the second end as Jennifer Westhagen comes down to sweep the stone of her teammate Matt Panussi.
Wade's up a bit, I think.
Oh, easy then.
Close.
Lot of line. Easy. Well, right off. Ah.
The stone of
Matt.
Panussi's
Get the
tracking
weight
a
down.
little bit. Not curling yet. Just that, again, a little bit extra weight. Holds the line a little bit straighter. It's going to slide deep all the way to the back of the 12-foot circle. That's still in play, but advantage Japan here. Jackets are off. Usually happens after you sweep a few stones. You get the sweat levels up. And mixed doubles curling. Boy, you've got to be fit. You do a lot of sweeping.
ラインはいい感じだよ。
上とあるよ。
あーごめん。
Panussi looks on. We mentioned the
Yes.
competition. The 12 teams are split into 2 pools of 6 teams, and so running down all the pool B teams are in action here in the opening draw. So pool B is the USA,
後ろに来たね。
Sweden, Japan, Italy,
ダブルで
New Zealand 2, and Australia 2.
How much weight?
I just do back line at the
Got
most.
a mixed
Back,
doubles
high
medalist
nose or
in the
low
field
nose
in
is
Team
good.
USA. They'd be a strong favorite going in. 5 days of competition. We will have every draw for you here on Sky Sports. You will get a chance to see all of these teams in action over the course of the week here at the QRC Winter Games.
No, weight's pretty good. Just back 8. Where's the line?
Whoa.
Just
Well,
high
we're
and
not on
move.
it yet. We're not on it yet. No, we're not going to be on it.
Wants to get to the nose of the red to push it straight back. Is going to hit it on an angle and push it in.
Not bad. Gives us something to work with.
I didn't understand high of nose or low of nose.
Just high or just low? 'Cause
Yeah, but I didn't know where to take the ice for that.
Okay.
We need to talk about the number 1 shot. And I think I need to stay here until I can see it as well.
We're just going to have to watch time then.
9-0。ラインは
ラインは大丈夫。ラインはまだ外。あ、いい感じで曲がってる。落ちそうだけどどう？
Good chance here for the Japanese to lock up that scoring area.
Yes, yes, もうちょい。Yes, yes, 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 yes.
Comes to rest full front 12 foot.
Can you play hack at this?
Okay.
Just
Where is
over
it
curls a
flying?
fraction, I think, from what they were looking
You
for.
don't?
So the Australians can still make a play at the red stones in that 4-foot circle. There we see Den and Den
We peel the guards
training
back,
one of the
mate.
officials.
Split the
Where do
guard.
you think the line is for Matt?
I'd be
Where am I
throwing...
trying to hit it?
Sorry?
Where am I trying to hit it?
Well, as much as you can see, if not more. I'd be taking edge of the 4, maybe a touch more. If we hit the guard, that's okay.
Westhagen is going to make a play on the Japanese stone in the 4-foot.
Close. Close. Whoa, right off. Never.
Needs to get quite near to those stones
Never.
in the guard position. Never, says Jennifer. This stone has a lot of curling to do. She wants a lot of contact on that front stone. Going to graze it. Angles it in, removes one Japanese stone. Well, that does improve things for the Australians.
All right.
Japan's still
That's
lying
okay.
one, but now it's only one.
What was the time on that?
We see now Fumi Den
20,
saying,
that's about hack.
we better get rid of that
Just a little
Australian
up,
stone. That's a
What do you
dangerous
like
one.
now?
Hey?
What do you like now?
First 4 stones of the end, you cannot hit the opponent's stone and remove it from play, but after that you can. So Masako Den throwing up weight, trying to play a hit. Little wry smile from her teammate. This one is drifting wide, and that is going to blow right by.
ごめん。
早い。
And that can happen when you're playing draw after draw after draw. The first time you step up the weight, the harder you throw it, the less it curls.
まずいな。
And we saw it there. That's a miss.
I like that weight you threw.
The first shot is to come off the yellow, or
Yeah,
that's the
first
pro
shot's to come off the yellow because we'll punch it sideways. I like that weight you threw. You could do that, or you could do a little more
4番ぐらいに。
if you know the line.
Great chance here for the Australians to get a bit of action on the Japanese shot rock.
The same line as last time, or I need to take more?
They can
think we
either
need a
go to
hand
the
or-
red stone directly, or we heard them say they can even jump off
Not
their
so
own
much
and hit the
'cause we want it coming
Japanese
off
stone.
the inside of the yellow.
It's almost the same shot she just threw.
Yep. Yeah.
On it immediately, asks Westhagen. She thinks she's narrow.
Real hard.
Panucci trying to hold the line straight with the sweeping.
Hurry hard. Real hard. Yes. Yes.
Are they by the guards? No, they wrecked the front guard.
どうする？振ってロール。
As an alternative, that's not bad for the Australians. It does open up the front a little bit, but they were trying to get to the shot rock.
Sorry, I didn't take the ice.
That's okay. You got one more?
So the Australians still have something going here, but Japan,
Still got a shot.
again, they're going to have another go at trying to get rid of that Australian rock as Westhagen and Panucci look on.
Huh. Thought I was going to hold that, but
Is that
quite.
one third? Is that one out counting the top?
I haven't checked that.
Important stone here for Team Japan. Again, that heavier weight trying to remove the Australian stone.
クリーン。ウォーウォーウォー。クリーンクリーン。Yes, yes.
Well, they got contact this time. They removed the Aussie rock, punch it through, and Japan lies 1-3 currently.
Pretty
あ、
thin,
ごめん
but
押せなかった。早い。
oh, we can slash, but I think we've got to do that.
こうなっちゃう。
Panussi looking at the thin double takeout. Just grazed the front red, redirected onto the second red. Maybe get 2, maybe get 3.
I think I have to come into out.
There is a risk of a jam on the stone in the back of the forefoot on this shot, but Aussie has to play it. They have to make a play at that shot rock.
Throw like.
Final stone about to be thrown by Matt Panussi. Australia 2 looking to get on the board here in the second end.
Control.
Yep.
Playing the in turn, going inside out. This one's moving hard right out of his hand.
Real hard all the way. Yep. All right, just keep going, but.
No, this one is going to over curl for the inside double. Noses it. Pushes it past the Japanese shot rock, and so it will be another steal of a single point for Japan.
One red.
Japan making out like burglars here in the early going, stealing the first end, now stealing the second end. Good chances there for the Australians, but they could not cash it in. So it is a steal of a single point for Japan, and that will put them up by a score of 2-0 after the second end of play.
Why don't you come down with me?
Yep. I think
Great start for Team Japan.
Good setup that end. We just didn't quite get the lines right.
You're going to have to just call the shots because we're taking too much time.
Okay.
So 2 ends in the books of our 8-end contest. If we're tied after 8 ends, we will play an extra end to determine the winner. But you can see what we meant about mixed doubles curling. It all happens really quick. You don't have a lot of time to set up an end. You have to make your decisions fast. You have to make your play decisively when you get the opportunity. No power play yet employed by the Australians. They would have the choice as the team with last rock to use it, but they're keeping it in their pocket for later in the game. So Japan gets us underway here in the third. So far in this game, Naofumi Den has set the table with this first shot of the end. He really turned the end around in both the first and the second end. This one not quite so good. Perfect weight, but the line doesn't get covered behind that center guard. So a good chance here for the Australians to maybe make a back 4, back 8 foot weight play and just push that red stone back and get inside behind cover and maybe get that 2 and 3 points back right here in the third end. Panussi.
Close.
Got room. Got room. Well, if you can, Jen. Well, if you can. We're on the outside still.
Panussi wants to get to the inside of that red stone. Saying to Jennifer Westhagen, whoa if you can. Wants it to curl a little bit more. Just nudges it back. So close to perfect. Had to curl a little bit more. But that's a pretty good spot for the Australians.
I think we just, if it's anywhere close, we just have to call the line first and then go later. That's a good spot.
That is a good spot, Matt. Misako Den. That was an interesting little comment we heard from Matt, though. He said, we have to wait for the line first and then go on the weight. We've seen a couple of stones where the weight's up a little bit. Just take that little bit longer to curl. And that's why sweeping judgment is such a big part of our sport. It's not only how hard you sweep, but when you sweep. Sometimes you have to let the rock make the break first and then go. And that's what Matt was saying to his teammate, Jennifer.
Weights down.
Slow as you can. A lot of room.
Really light, really light. 3, 4, 3.
Okay, go if you need to.
Just a 3. Not even.
This one a little wide. Matt Panussi saying it's a little light as well. This one's going to come up short.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't let her overcurl. Just leave a gap there.
Does cover the stone at the back of the forefoot. They were looking for that one in the rings.
can get the inside tap on that.
Good look at the starting blocks. We call that the hack. Players, it's a rubber hack. It's kind of like sprinters use to start a race in the 100 meters. It's on a bit of an angle, gives the players some grip and some push-off force. We are playing on ice, of course. It is slippery. That stone clips the guard. Remember, they've only got 5 stones to play each end. The Australians could run one of those front stones back into the pile and maybe get some action there, but looks like Westhagen is going to play just a board weight.
Outside. Yeah. 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 Yeah, hard.
Bit too tight.
We'll see the red shoes of Naofumi Den preparing to sweep this one. Because of those angles being different.
We can either do this, or we can do that.
I can't see it, so just tell me.
I think your first choice, Matt.
Let's do that.
No.
Nose.
Going to make a play on the top stones. The reason I don't favor this shot, the angles are not good. Even if Jennifer makes, it'll leave the Japanese stone intact. If you play the back stone, maybe you've got a chance to get some action. There we get a great look at the starting blocks and curling rings on the shoe of Jennifer Westhagen.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. Get over curl. Go on to the other one.
Yeah, plan B, play the back stone. This might work out for the Australians if they can hit this one thin. There's the angle raise, there's the bump. Just had to catch that a little bit thinner, but that makes it a bit more interesting for the Australians.
Knocked you off the sheet there.
Matt clipped Jennifer just a little bit with his brush, with his pushing foot when Jennifer was about to release, but safely delivered. And there we get a look at the score. We're in the third end of this 8-end game. Japan is leading it 2-0. Australia with the hammer here, playing the yellow stones in the third. And a little something cooking here for the Australians if they can just cash in that last one. Naofumi Den.
Yes, 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 yes.
Trying to block the path to the shot rock.
Yes. Okay.
Well, that worked. Don't think that's exactly what they were looking for, but a good audible there by Naofumi.
Yeah, I think we do. Hey?
There's still one.
No.
Tell you what, there could be a straight back triple takeout for 4 here.
Give up 2.
Hit that top red one. Just off nose.
Do you think we can still get it?
Push the red one sideways, get some action. That's what they're looking at.
Oh, with a run back?
Yeah.
Well, now they're
that's a
looking
lot
at
harder.
it. That is a lot harder, Matt.
I think this is a better shot. Even if we nose that, they only get 1.
Okay.
I think it's there. I'd try it. Have to hit this one really precisely. Need a little bit of good fortune as well. I think if you hit that red one at the front of the 8-foot, just on the nose, it'll just feather the stone right beside it, change the angle, push the red one straight back on the other red, clip them all out. Australia could score 4. Worth a try. You're down 2.
Normal.
Panusi.
Got to curl a long way. Whoa. Whoa.
I don't think Matt liked his slide.
This is not good.
This is not good, says Matt.
Yep.
Okay, plan B. What's going to happen? Going to hit this outside stone instead. Well, spins it across, just wide on the delivery, and it's yet another steal for the Japanese. Japan now stealing 3 consecutive ends. Single
Really getting
points in the
break from
first,
that.
second, and third
Starting to get it together.
gives Japan a 3-0 lead after 3 ends of play. But a great chance there for the Australians. They're knocking on the door. Stay with us.
10 seconds, so it's not giving us time to talk.
Anybody's game in mixed doubles. Leads change very, very quickly in this sport.
So I think if we just start sweeping that a little bit later and letting the curl work for us, we'll start getting a few more in there. Doesn't help that I don't make my first shot at the moment, but we'll be all right.
I don't think that's what's happening. I think he's making his first shot perfectly every time.
Yeah.
Some analysis there from Team Australia. Still sticking in the conventional formation. Australia could use the power play, but again, not electing to use that just yet.
We'll get something going.
You can see how the stones accumulate in mixed doubles. So even though you're down 3 points, compared to men's and women's curling, in mixed doubles, you're not fearful. You know that you can score a 2 or a 3 or a 4 even very, very quickly if you get your stones in good places and execute well, which is what the Australians were talking about.
あーごめん
And there we see an example of where Japan altered their playing lineup. Naofumi was throwing first stones for the first 3 rocks of the end, and they switched their playing order for this end. Misako throwing the first stone at the end. She made an error, threw it deep and through, so a great chance here for the Australians to capitalize and get back in this one.
Can you help? Let me in.
Yep.
Panusi looking to duck one behind that center guard, sit in front of his own stone. Well by that guard.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Just want to sweep it a little bit for finish.
Good start.
It is a good start, Matt. Aussies lies 2.
I think we still need someone on line because it was okay to be light.
No, that's a good start.
内側につけるこっちの内側こっちから
ちょっと押すか押してもいいぐらいの感じで
で12でいいかな、
はい
No, my apologies. Japan was in their original rotation, so it was Naofumi throwing the first stone. I guess it was just uncharacteristically heavy.
伸びてるいい感じだよ
Misako throwing the second.
Yes, 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 yes. もうちょい
Pushes the Aussie stone behind that T line, that black line that goes left to right through the middle of the circle. That's quite strategic. Whenever the stone's behind the T line, you can sit a stone in front of it and be closer to the target. When it's in front of the T line, you can still promote it and make it better.
No, it's not.
Okay, there's a lot of room. Room!
Just
no,
top 4,
whoa if you can.
top 8, top 12.
You can go if
Panusi
you
wants
need
to
to.
sweep now.
Go if you need to. Line's good. Fighting the 4 if you can't. Whoa, it's plenty. I don't think you need to sweep it. I think it's okay.
Oh, nice stone there from Westhagen. Australia lies 3.
65.
こっち
65.
There we see 4th end of play, Japan leading 3-0. The Australians with hammer here in the 4th end and something brewing.
Do you like
They're lying 3 shots.
Like trying to get the inside of the red one?
Well, they're going to play the tap first. If they don't make that, then I think we come on the inside or guard.
So for the first time in this match, Japan under some serious pressure.
ちょっと体が回っちゃったな Yes, yes, yes,
Let's see how they respond.
yes, 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 yes.
This one's over curling. Is it going to get by that center guard? No, it won't. It crashes.
ごめん
Does open it up. But advantage Australia.
ウエイトがあったら
Oh, you can do this.
I don't think we need to.
Or you can just do that.
Yeah.
どうしようか
Defensive choice here from the Australians. They're lying 3.
Which turn do you like?
You could throw
You
another
can't
one in the
bump it
rings,
with
but
draw weight. You won't be able to keep it straight enough. So you either have to hit or just throw the guard.
I don't want to hit. What turn do you like for the guard?
Out turn.
Out turn.
Yeah.
Australia
Just
settling
the
on a
center
guard.
line.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Defending the stones in the rings. They are line 3.
Weight's close. 3, 3, 4.
I think line's good, but
Yeah, it's just gotta
gotta
curl.
Bend it at the end. You gotta bend it. Well, not yet. Okay, yep.
Panussi now sweeping to
Yeah,
carry
hard.
it further and get more
Hurry, hurry,
curl.
hurry.
They
Yes,
want to
yes, yes,
cover
yes,
as
yes,
much
yes.
of that
Keep
gap
going,
as
keep
they
going.
can. They do cover a piece of it, but they would have liked to cover more. It's day 1 of the mixed doubles curling competition here at the QRC Winter Game, presented by Forsyth Bar. 12 international teams. We've got 5 Southern Hemisphere teams in the competition. 3 teams from New Zealand. We'll see them later in the week. 2 from Australia. Oh, good looking stone here. Through the gap. Double takeout. Terrific shot from Japan. Wow. Threading the needle.
やっぱ最後曲がるよね。
ちょっと焦った。
And just like that, the end turns around. There you can see how important that guard was. Needed to cover more of that gap. Left the gap for Naofumi Den. And boy, oh boy, what a shot.
Just hitting stick on that one.
Yeah.
なんか曲がってこないだろうなと思ったんだけど、最後。
Well, roll a little bit's okay, but I don't think you can get much roll out of it. Just got to just miss that left one and try and control.
It's better to over curl than hit the one on the left.
Yes. Control.
Yep, yeah! Yeah, real hard! Whoa! Yeah! Yes!
Westhagen trying to thread that needle as well as she by that guard. Oh, just clips the front.
All right.
ああ、ドローでここまで持ってくる。
Just moved a bit.
That one hit the board.
Oh, thanks, John. Okay, nice.
Redstone comes out of play. It touched the
nice.
sideboard.
あれ黄色からのダブルはかなり難しい。
Australia still lying 1.
決められたら仕方ないよ。13ぐらいか。
そうだね。で何秒だ？38でいくかな。
12の38でもいい
Looked
か。
to me like Naofumi wants to
12だと
just
曲が
play
っ
a
て
draw shot on top of the Australian stone. Really delicate shot. Does have some options though. He could, if he overcurls, tap his own stone.
367。
え、普通なる。ごめん、あるある。うわうわ。ずっと見てて。まだそうそう、すごい外走ってる。
これ下げた
Not
方がい
laying
い
a。brush to it yet.
もうスルーだね。ごめん。
That usually means they're concerned about the line, and yes, it is wide and heavy. Will slide deep and through, so here's the chance the Australians were looking for.
13は。
Not going to get a 3, but they do have a shot for 2.
まあ12か。
That would get them right back in the contest. To get there, they're going to have to draw another stone into that red 4-foot circle and outcount that red Japanese stone. Tough
Pretty
shot,
tough one, 'cause
but
you've got to
makeable.
hit the left one pretty thin.
I heard Matt say something about hitting the red one thin. Surely he's not trying a takeout. We'll know in a moment when he slides out. Well, it is takeout weight.
Clean. Yep.
Looks like he's playing the run back shot, going to try to drive the yellow one straight back into the reds.
Oh, come on.
This one is just not going to curl enough.
Gotta be kidding.
So it looks like a single point for the Australians. We'll just wait for the confirmation. High degree of difficulty shot tried there by Team Australia to get their pair. It's a single point for the Aussies, so they are on the board.
Must have set that one a little.
Matt Panussi trying the really difficult raised double takeout to get a second point. Didn't come off, just had to curl a bit more, didn't do it. Single point for the Australians, they're on the board. And at the midpoint of this contest, 8 end games, we're 4 ends in. It is Australia with a single point, but Japan is leading it by a score of 3-1. Be a brief moment of ice maintenance here at the midpoint of the game.
That's
Chance for the players to
I think we need to take that time before
compare
we roll that
strategy.
shot, even if we can't take it on mine.
Yeah, I think we need to move faster in the earlier.
Yeah, just skip the game, but take the time to relax.
Good first half for Team Japan. Terrific double takeout. In the midpoint of that fourth end to bail them out of trouble, it was looking to me like the Australians were going to get a 3. Westhagen trying a guard, just didn't curl enough. And as quickly as that, Bango then makes a double takeout. And the Australians reduced to having to make a really difficult final shot to score a 2. I would have liked to see Matt try the draw on his final shot. I just think that's an easier shot than the one he tried to get his pair, but they're out there on the ice. I'm not out on the ice, so the players just looking for the best shot available. Here we got progress scores of the other games this morning on this opening round of action. After 4 ends, it's Sweden with a 4-1 lead over Team USA, and that's maybe a mild upset brewing. Team USA, I would say, one of the favorites in this competition. And on sheet D, after 4 ends, we see New Zealand holding a 4-1 lead over Italy. So that will make the hometown fans in Naseby very happy indeed. New Zealand, too, is Holly Thompson and Anton Hood, and they're enjoying a 4-1 lead at the midpoint of that game. First day of action here at the Maniototo Curling International Rink in Central Otago. A pearl of a place. If you've never been here and you're in New Zealand, do yourself a favor. Get on in. Have a look. We're going to be here all week for the curling competition, but any time of year, Naseby, a fantastic place to visit. In the winter, you've got curling. You've got outdoor ice skating. In the summer, you've got some of the best mountain bike trails in New Zealand. You've got a cricket pitch here. You've got tennis courts here. You've got lawn bowling here. Fantastic scenery. But this week, it's home for some of the best mixed doubles teams in the world at the QRC Winter Games. Let's see if the Australians can bounce back in the second half.
Actually, that's not right. The person with the hammer is
Yeah, I know.
We'll sneak a peek at some of the action on the other sheets, and this is Team Italy. Final stone attempt against Team New Zealand, and that looks like leaves New Zealand lying a single point anyways. That reduces the damage, and there we see Anton Hood and Holly Thompson of New Zealand, runners up in the New Zealand Mixed Doubles Nationals. And there we see Team Sweden against Team USA and Robin Ahlberg and Therese Westman. Therese's mother, the legendary Annette Norberg, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and now her daughter Therese making her own mark in the world of curling as one of the best mixed doubles teams coming out of Sweden. And in our feature game, Japan versus Australia 2. Japan with a great first half. Australia scoring the single point in the fourth means Japan will have last rock advantage for the first time in the game. The Australians had the hammer in the first end after the last stone draw, but Japan with steals in the first, second, and third end. Australia now on the board. They'll get us underway in the second half of this game. Glad you're with us on Sky Sport.
I have no vision of time whatsoever there, so can you see it?
When you're ready, you can probably go. I think it's probably been about 20 seconds.
Let's see if Matt Panucci can set the end up the way that his counterpart Den has been doing
Little tight.
all day long for the
Little tight.
Japanese.
Okay, line's good. Close. Where are we?
Close, T.
All right, no line yet.
Can't
All right,
hear
line's
you.
good. Yep. Line's real good. Whoa.
Down to it. Down to it.
All right. There we go. A bit more. Yep.
No, it's perfect.
Oh, great shot from Panucci. That's what the Aussies were looking for.
Oh, mate, there.
70.
You really control that button area if you get that first stone into that location.
はい。387。なんか落ちてる？
見て。
ラインはいいよ。イエス。落ちてる。イエスイエスイエスイエスイエスイエスイエスイエスイエスイエスイエス。最後までイエス。Okay.
Good line, comes up a fraction short.
Coming this way.
最初だから
Where do we want it?
387。
Nose. Just frozen nose.
Frozen.
Frozen would be good.
したいね。
Frozen nose.
No, no bump's not better.
That's curling talk for throwing the stone right in front of the stone. Sitting directly on top of it, right in the center. Westhagen.
Is it up?
Little
I'll
down.
do a little. Low if you can. Low if
Gotta
you
go
can.
at the end.
Room. Lot of room.
Gotta go.
Lot of room.
Really gotta go, Jen.
Okay, go now then.
Actually, no. I'm wrong.
Curl it. Curl it.
One thing about Matt, he's always honest out there.
Okay, that's fine.
He says, I got it wrong, he'll say so right away.
Sorry, I took way too much ice, I guess.
That's okay.
What was the time?
68. Definitely getting quicker.
I hear Jennifer say, what's the
Nice throw.
time? The players use stopwatches. That's legal.
おっとっと。
They'll do interval times between certain spots in the ice,
95。
and then they'll translate that into how much pace it's got at the far end, and that's a shorthand that all teams use
ライン OK、ラインは OK。
to communicate weight and the pace of the ice to each other.
当たるよ。
Good looking stone here from
OK。
Misako. Just nudges that Australian stone back to the button. Australia still lying one, but under threat. Japan with the hammer here on end number 5.
Here's 1, 2. Just sitting in the open's not bad. Tapping is okay as long as we're inside of it. Close.
Is it bumping?
No, a little less.
Low if you can. Still wide. Still too wide.
Right, Jen. Just top 12. Not even.
Room. Lot of room. It's not covering
May as well
anything.
keep it straight then.
Okay, go. Go.
Look at the stones piled up in the rings. Australia blocking the path.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That is okay.
What was the time on that one?
70
The
basically.
reason it's okay, that side of the ice is the dangerous side for the Australians. The angle red into yellow, much more favorable for the Japanese than this outturn side.
あ、11か。
ドローでいい。
11のちょっと気持ち早め。
Misako Den lines it up.
いいよ、38。
まだ待ちたい。ラインはまだ待てるよ。
Just the tiniest gap between those guards. She's trying to thread the needle again. She's past 1, she's past 2, she's past 3. Just chips her own sideways on the angle.
曲がっちゃったね。
Does expose the Australian shot rock.
You can come in here, Jen.
Who's shot?
We are
We want top 4.
This is getting interesting.
top 4, yeah. Top 4 would be good.
Pro side, heavy or light?
Light.
Okay.
Good, clear communications between the Australians. Asking each other if I'm going to make a small error, Where do I make it? Heavy or light?
Oh, definitely light.
Different line.
Decisively light.
Yep. Line's good. Room.
Real light.
Yep, line.
Panussi's worried about the
Yeah,
weight.
line.
He thinks it's
One.
light.
1, 2.
Yep.
This will be a guard.
Yep.
Good sweeping from Panussi. Brings it all the way to the center guard. Gets a tiny bit of action on it.
What was that?
I did not get a time on that.
Sorry.
Matt said,
Right,
I wasn't going to
look it
click
up.
the stopwatch. I was jumping on that one right out of your hand, Jen.
直接赤は打てない
There's the situation. 2 stones remaining for the Japanese. They've got the hammer here in the 5th. They've got lots of red stones in and around that 4-foot, but that one Australian rock is out counting them. Can Misako Den get to that shot rock? Playing the outturn this side and throwing a little bit of weight
あー曲がんないその後
because
行か
I'm
な
a
い
little bit wide.
後ろの黄色だな。
Trying to get a bit of action on those front stones. Just clips the front.
ちょい広すぎた、ごめん。
Little surprised she didn't try the shot that she threw just before that.
あ、直接？うん。でも、そう
Let's
する
see,
と
maybe there's not enough of a hole for her to try that intern side now to get a look at it.
If you need to. Stay down
So
there
she
if
was
you
just trying to
want,
clear
if
it.
you need to.
Important for the Australians here that they just stay calm. We are playing to a time clock here, and so there is a tendency sometimes to rush things around. You're worried about your playing time, but
I almost think we try to put another one in there.
also need to be
I'm not sure that
situationally
one on the
aware.
right-hand side gets them anything.
So what are we doing?
I think we just try to draw another one in there, so it's a pretty tight gap. But I think
If
it's
you're
there.
light and block something up, it's okay.
Yeah, if we block something up, it's okay. I think it's there only because I think if they hit those reds, the yellow jams.
Yeah, I think so.
At least I really hope so. That's how I read it. So about the same weight, 70.
Okay.
Have to play a little tighter ice.
Okay, after all that discussion, sounded to me like Matt Panussi was saying the best defensive play for us is to get another one in there.
Weight's good. T.
Yeah, hard!
T.
Real hard! Real hard, Jen! Real hard! All the way, go, 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 go!
Trying to
go,
get
go,
it
go.
by that front stone, but it
Whoa,
looks
whoa,
like it's
whoa.
over curling.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, gonna open
Oh,
it up.
no. Ah. Sorry.
Now, Japan with the final stone.
フィールでいい
They've got a path. They can chip that Australian stone out and get a bundle. Chance to score as many as 4 here. Tough shot though. It's a narrow port, but you can just see the corner of that yellow stone. Panussi wrecking on the guard, opening it up. The shot's there. It's tough, but it's there. The brush, that's the target line for Naofumi Den. Just wants to graze the Australian stone and nick it off the button. Japan would score at least 2. Final stone on its way.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Trying to hold the line. They got to get by that front stone in the top 12 foot, but they wreck. So Aussie dodges a huge bullet. It's a steal for Australia. Chance for Japan to score 3 or 4. A bit narrow with the takeout attempt. Den wrecks the guard. Australia steals, and they are right back in this contest. What a turnaround. After 5 ends of play, Australia have brought it back. They were trailing 3-0. Now it is 3-2 Japan with the lead, and they will take the hammer into the 6th end. Mixed doubles curling, things can happen really fast. That shot was a 4-point swing. Teams not yet using their power plays, the power play positioning. would put the stationary stones off the center line. You can only elect the power play when you've got last rock. Japan has got last rock here in the 6th, but we're keeping into the conventional stationary stone positioning. No power play yet. And that's part of the decision making in mixed doubles. It's strategic. You only get one power play. When do you use it? Teams tend to try and save it for late in the game, and that way you've got an offensive or a defensive use of the power play.
Coming in now. Still a lot of room. Whoa, whoa if you can. Right off.
Panusi gets us underway in the 6th.
Heavy.
Ah,
This one is a little heavy.
it's just not working out the way I planned.
No, sadly not, Matt. That one is through, and that is a bad error, unfortunately, for the Australians. Door is wide open now for the Japanese.
I must have just given a little.
No, I don't think so. I think
Just to quick it down this
it's
far.
sped up because
I'm not sure it curls as much down this way. I think I'm taking too much ice.
I think you need to throw less weight.
Yeah.
Oh, nice shot here. Just tucking around that center guard.
They're
Full 8 foot. Nice shot.
They are full 8.
Okay.
Can we come in turn? Weight's close. 7.
Room.
7, 8.
A lot of room. No, no touch.
8, 9.
Stay close.
No, it's up. It's up. 9, 10.
The Australians again
Really quickened up. That was a 60, so I think you need to be throwing a 70.
heavy with the draw, and we could hear the weight communication.
might be different,
I think
but
the
that
pace
side-
of the ice might be a little quick. Two consecutive draws heavy from the Australians. Great chance here for the Japanese.
9-5。
もう少し伸ばしたいかな。あ、いい感じ。ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って。
They'd love to just hide around that stone in the front 8 foot and still stay in front of the tee line, and this looks exactly what they're doing. Terrific shot. Could not carry it down and place it in a better position than that. She doesn't look that happy. I'd be pretty happy.
伸びて彼らのも行っちゃったんだよね。
That's a fantastic shot.
Just a hair.
The reason it's fantastic, all the stones in a line, protected by the center guard. Very difficult for the Australians to get at.
Out in turn.
I thought if I went by and I hit the red, that would be okay.
Okay, yeah, do that. All right. Means you just have to overcurl a bit.
Oh, that side.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little indecision here.
Control up.
Whoa!
Normal.
Whoa! Whoa!
Trying to get some action on those stones in the rings.
All right.
Removes the center guard. Does open it up.
We really need to quicken the time up.
Okay,
Really?
I need you to tell me the shot.
Nat, a little bit worried about the time clock. Relative to the Japanese, the Australians are taking more time discussing shots, and that does consume time. The time clock only runs when it's your turn to play. It's a bit like chess, thinking time it's called.
クリーンだけだな。ちょっと曲げたい。
And it is important because if you run out of time,
大丈夫？
you lose the game. Guard attempt here from the Japanese, but this one's over curling. hoping to protect the stones in the rings, but you can see on that shot just over curls. So
You don't want to draw now?
Nose.
We only have 2 rocks left.
We've got to open it up.
Okay.
Mustagan wanted to draw. Matt says we got to open it up. We talked about how you got to make your move decisively in mixed doubles. You've only got 5
Same
shots
way.
every end.
Whoa!
And this one
Nothing.
is drifting wide. No contact yet. Just gets a piece of the top stone, but leaves the Japanese stone in the rings. That's a bad break for the Australians, and green light go for Team Japan, lying 3
Job opening it up.
with the hammer and a chance to really make a big break in this one. Misako
I think it might be.
love to draw this one on the center line, probably front forefoot in front of her stones on the button.
ちょっとまだ曲がってない。曲げたい。
Australia, remember,
Yes,
only has
yes,
one
yes,
stone
yes.
left to play.
もっと曲げたい。Yes, yes, yes, yes.
Now Fumi giving it maximum on the sweep. They want to get this stone into the rings into 4th shot position if they can. Well, they get a piece. I'm not sure they got 4th shot, but importantly, they protected the shot rock. Great sweep there from Naofumi Den. Huge pressure shot now for Matt Panucci. Yeah. Catch your breath. Refuel.
So it's quick down the normal path. I'm wondering if out here it's going to be the same speed.
And that tells me Matt's thinking about
I'm going
throwing
to
a
throw
draw.
an 80.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
So really just 2 options for the Australians here. Play a really daring in-off triple takeout, which was if you miss it, game over.
Go a
Or
bit at the end, but just stay close.
throw the draw,
Line's good.
try to get right to the
Got
pin,
room.
and at least cut
Lots
Japan
of
down.
room.
And that looks like what Matt
Lots of
Panucci's
room.
trying.
Okay, coming in now. Go if you need to.
Have to get
Yep.
second shot at least.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Well, does get second
Good
shot.
strike.
Not a bad result, but a good chance here for the
I think we had a
Japanese to
very
just follow that
focus
down.
up front.
Tap that back 3 inches and you score 3.
Pretty close.
Pretty good shot from
There
Panucci.
is going to get.
We only have 2 ends left. We actually have plenty of time. So
Now Fumi Den.
12でちょっと
早めぐらい。
Japan have got 1 in the bank. Trying to score 2, maybe 3. And if he makes it fantastically well, an outside chance for 4. But he'll be thinking 2.
38いいよ。
フライもいいよ。
どう？
イエスして。
Critical thing is getting it by the guard.
Yes. ライオン、ライオン。
No problem there. Well by the guard. Is it going to curl enough?
チップするよ。
Maybe feathering off the top stone. Redirects. Well, it's 1. Is it 2?
I think it's 1.
They're taking a look.
Measure.
If you want to measure.
Oh, this one's not counting. I'll move this.
わかんないな。いいじゃん。
Okay.
They are going to measure for the second point. And we'll ask the official to come onto the ice surface with the measuring device.
I think it's
We'll
yellow.
get our first look this week at how we break ties in curling.
多分赤だと思う。
Slightly better at the end there.
わかんない。ギリギリだな。
Looking at it from our overhead camera angle, it does look to me like the Yellowstone
Second
is
shot.
slightly closer, but that's why we've got this precision measuring device to tell us exactly
Still better to take a little more ice.
who is closer. So remember, Japan has 1 point already. And we'll take a look at the needle here on the measuring device. Here's the official. Look at that needle just move. And that tells us, okay, it goes about to the 3rd click. If that one goes a bit further, it is yellow. So a single point for Japan. A chance for a 2 or a 3. Almost got a 2 the fortunate way. Didn't come off. It is a single point for the Japanese, but that opens up the gap for them, scoring a single with last rock as we're heading for the finish line here in this opening draw at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand mixed doubles curling. After 6 ends of play, it's Japan 4, Australia 2.
Which side do you think?
And now,
Go this side.
I believe we are going to see Australia use their power play.
We do the power play. Power play, yeah.
Matt Panucci confirming that. So the difference in the power play, we've noticed through the game, the stationary stones have been on the center line. In the power play alignment, there you see the important thing. That stone, Australian stone, goes in front of the tee line behind a center guard. The idea of the power play is giving the team with last rock a higher probability of scoring multiple points. Doesn't guarantee it, of course, but it sets it up slightly differently and in a bit more favor of the attacking team. That's why it's called the power play. Aussie using their power play now, and boy do they need it. Trailing by 2. Let's see what they can do with it here in the 7th.
387。ラインはまだ外。ウォーウォーウォーウォー。いっちゃうな。
Lots of different tactics to try and neutralize the power play. Many teams try to graze the front guard stone and move it out of position. Japanese look like they were thinking about that, but they draw their own stone into the rings. Remember, Australia can't take that stone out yet. They can move it. They can't remove it from play. Tactics of mixed doubles. Fascinating.
Mine's a little
Back
tight.
lines, splitting and rolling
Whoa.
over is okay too.
Whoa, whoa. No line, no
Back
line
house.
at all. No line at all.
Back house.
Here it comes. Yep.
Panucci
Yep.
looks like he just
Back
wants to
line.
push that stone
Right.
back.
Bump
Remember,
it.
they can move it, but it cannot go out of play. Otherwise, that stone comes back.
Nice.
Oh, that's a very nice shot
Good
from Matt
sweep, Jen. Good
Panucci.
weight call.
押す？
And that's hard to do.
同じでいい。赤、黄色を押そう。
Hit the stone, but don't hit it hard enough to remove it from play.
We gave that a
ボ
little
タンドローでいいよ。
ボタンドローでちょっと押す？
うん、ちょっと押した方がいい。
ちょっとあるよ。ラインはいい感じ。イエス。ラインはいいよ。イエス。イエス。イエス。イエス。イエス。
上取る。
いや、大丈夫大丈夫。
Small tap there. A bit of separation, though.
何秒？
What kind of weight?
You can do hack or board. Board might be good. Up to you. Hack or board. Just hit high side.
I'm taking the intern.
Oh, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Why?
We want to hit high side of it, the red, and roll our way.
Okay. Can't I do that with the
Yeah,
intern?
you just got to cross the face, that's all.
I understand.
All right.
I think Matt would rather have the out turn. Jennifer wants to throw the in turn.
Control. All right, good try.
So a chance for Japan to get out of jail here. Again, this stone is going to over curl. Gets one.
Probably should have swept that one a little bit.
合わせてたけど。
The Aussies are going to get there.
はい。
So let's go.
3、9。
Probably be looking just to throw board weight. Wants to control the roll. He needs to keep this one in the ring. And now the decision for Team Japan. They've got last rock. What will their shot choices be here in the final end? And we can see Westhagen and
Easy.
Australia knows they have to steal a point to win the game, so they're going to set a guard. And that's a beauty.
Sorry, I like the intern too. I was just confused for a minute.
Hey?
I liked the intern too.
Opponent stone against them. All tied up at 4. It's the 8th end. Opening day of our mixed doubles curling comp here at the QRC Winter Games New Zealand.
Well then. How up? Close? Yes,
Actually,
close
he's coming
line.
down now.
Yeah, line. Yeah, hard line. Yeah, line. Yes, line.
They'd like to get it by the center guard, but if they don't,
Yes.
want to stack the center guards if they can.
Sorry.
Oh, that's
Should have
probably a
dropped
bad
sooner.
result.
Yep.
Would have liked to keep them stacked
Gotta
on the
stay
center
on
if they
those.
could.
That was fine. You couldn't have gotten it to second shot.
That was a 50. Did you hang on to that a bit?
I didn't think so.
Center guard is the danger rock for the Japanese. Jot, you
You gotta play
invite the
like
Australians to steal
back
the
12,
end.
back 8.
So cool under fire.
Is the freeze okay?
Masako Den.
Okay.
Great
Freeze
draw.
is okay?
Not really. I mean, it's not bad, but I'd rather bump. I'd rather bump and roll than freeze.
Okay.
Forcing isn't going to help us here.
Oh, I think it's real heavy.
Backline hack.
Whoa.
Can we rub off the yellow?
I'm on that.
44. That's not
Tied
bad.
up. Single point for
I don't
either
think it was
team
much
wins them
more
the
than
game.
back 12.
Masako didn't love that slide. We could hear her go, oh, when she was sliding out.
まだ外まだもうちょいもうちょい入ってきたよ入ってきたよいいよ
Gonna get a piece of that Aussie rock. Punches it out. Job done, but this is the key shot for Australia. Tap the yellow onto the red. Don't
Same
have to
way.
throw it really hard.
Same way.
Just as long as you leave your stone in shot rock
Just need
position.
tighter line.
That's the tricky part.
This is a must make if the Australians are going to steal this one.
Yep.
Wait set.
Whoa.
Gotta hit it high.
Yep.
Gotta hit it high.
Whoa.
Line is critical.
Whoa.
Have to hit it just off the nose on the high side. Needs to curl. Oh, they just misread it.
Good try.
Sorry.
That was a little more. I didn't get a time on it because you called sweep out of the hand, so.
That's okay.
2 to come for Japan. 1 to come for Australia.
4番
Yeah, just a misread there on the sweeping call from
黄色を
Australia.
するか
That can happen if you get a little bit excited. Adrenaline's pumping.
ガードでいいんだよね4番にかかるぐらいがいい
12ちょい外出さないとあれかな
Masako Den trying to lock the door.
いいよ
ラインは良さそうまだ外
ハウス
いい
の中入る
感じで曲がってくるけどまだ
78
外
ある78ある
後ろ
後ろ
Doesn't want to give Australia any kind of a shot. But this one is also tracking a little heavy and a little full. Just grazes the shot stone, so Australia does have a shot here.
ちょいスイープして下げちゃった方がいい
Timeout being called by Matt Panucci.
フェイトがありそう
They're going to talk about this one. It's important.
That's not going to get us anything now unless we make it really hard and get the double.
Yeah.
All we've got really is that. And that gives them that.
Is this going to roll to shot?
No, if we just get the inside of that, it'll roll to shot.
That might be the best
Otherwise,
option.
we have to play a lot of weight at that. Get it there, and it will get both of them. That's pretty tight.
If you think this one is here,
Oh, it's definitely there.
we leave them this shot. It's hard still.
Yeah, we'll roll there probably.
Isn't it going to just catch on this one?
Maybe. But I
That's
still
less
think
than-
it'll sit shot. But then they have to peel it. I mean, it's
Bottom
not
line
hard to
is-
peel.
I'm not sure it's
Australia
gonna sit.
has to be shot after this
Yeah, I
stone.
guess it'll sit shot.
Otherwise, the game's over.
I mean, the only other shot's that, but there's a very real possibility of a jam if we come to, actually,
Could
The
hit
only
yellow.
thing we can do is hit it nose if we want to stick around.
You could hit the left hand or the right hand
hit that
redstone
here, both
really
of them
hard and
go.
roll to the
and
inside.
that sits here, right?
yeah.
Get to the back of the button that
But
way.
they still have a shot on it.
Well, they're going
Just
to have a
as
shot
easy
either
as-
way.
Whichever one you think you can make, just let them make the next shot.
The easiest shot for the Australians to lie one is to hit the stone on the edge of the button, just on the inside. But
I
you have to
think
be
we have to
really
play that.
precise.
Okay.
The harder shot is to
Pretty
hit the
tight.
stone on the right-hand side of our screen, roll to the button, which would
We
probably
know that
be
we're not shot.
If
a
you
higher chance of
overcurl
getting the
and
steal, but it's a harder shot to
wick.
make.
If you wick, yeah, but I was only going to play like back here,
Okay.
because the thing is, if you put it to here, then
up the
it
jam.
makes it a lot harder.
I
Yeah.
agree, Matt. You want to keep that red stone in the back of the forefoot. Just push it far enough to give yourself shot rock. Well, all comes down to this. 8 ends of
Okay, gotta
curling.
try 60,
Tie game, 8th end.
or a bit more.
A whaty?
60?
That'll be like back line, I think.
60's back line?
Yeah, I think so.
On this side? No, because yours came down a lot more.
Sorry?
Yours came down a lot more.
I thought mine was
stone
like a
each.
45 and it was half.
It wasn't hacked, it was back line
Yeah,
in the
that's
end.
why I thought 60.
Yeah, okay.
But whatever you think that you know the line for, really. Do you want to know what lines I was
I
taking?
don't really know the line,
Do you want to know
but
what?
we'll have a look.
No, have to pick a stone, pick a line, trust yourself and throw it. Panucci.
Back house.
Whoa! Clean. Whoa!
Back line.
Whoa! Clean, yep!
Good looking
Whoa.
line.
Yep! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Has to get by that front stone in the front
Yeah.
forefoot.
High! High!
Must get it by.
High! High!
Oh, they just underswept it. So close, but it's victory for
Jeez.
Japan.
Nice game, guys.
Great
Well
try
played.
there from Matt Panucci. That looked wired, but they just
Sorry,
got
Jen.
the sweep read a fraction late.
We should have just swept.
Brave, brave try from the Australians, but it is the win for Team Japan. What a finish. Misako Den, Naofumi Den will come away with the victory. They'll throw the final stone,
これ石持ってった方がいい？
but the victory is clinched. They don't even have to throw it.
あ、これも？
I think so.
And they are pushing the stone down. So it is 2 points for Japan. That was the final stone of the game. Japan clinching the victory
Oh, did you want to
in a thrilling opening game here at the QRC Winter Games, fueled by Forsyth Bar. What a contest. Australia clawing their way back into it, tying it up after 7. Matt Panucci with a brave attempt on his last, just missing. So close. And it's Japan that have come away the winners here in the opening draw of this 5-day mixed double curling competition here in Naseby. And there we see confirmation of our final. Japan 6, Australia 4. First draw complete here in the mixed doubles curling event. We'll have 2 more matches for you today here on Sky Sport. We'll have a draw for you at 1 p.m. this afternoon and another one at 5 p.m. in the early evening here from the Maniototo. And there we see coming up next for all you New Zealand fans, your first look at one of the 3 New Zealand teams will be this afternoon. Courtney Smith and Hamish Walker, New Zealand team number 3, will be taking on the team from Korea. Haiji Zhang and Yu Jin-seong. Haiji competing at the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. And they're now down here to compete at the QRC Winter Games. So that'll be a tough test for the young New Zealand team. All three New Zealand teams, all under the age of 21 or younger. The real future of the sport on show here in Naseby this week. What a fantastic opportunity for them to compete. And there we see some of the fans that have gathered here at this beautiful little facility here in Naseby. There we see some of the other games in action. We'll sneak a peek, and now we'll throw down and have an interview with our winning team.
Right here. Hi guys, well done, konnichiwa. Really consistent performance. You'd be pretty pleased with that as the first game, yes?
いいゲームでしたけれども、結果は良かったと思いますか？はい。
はい、とても緊張していて、ちょっとなかなか調子が出なかったんですが、勝ててよかったです。
We are very nervous at the beginning, but went well, so we are so happy to win today.
And guys, the Australians came back. You were sneaking them in there 1, 2, 3 on those first 3 ends, but they came back and you kept your cool and carried on and won the game.
About three end. 3投目の時に多分オーストラリアの本当は負けそうだったけど、あの後カムバックしたのはどうですか？
気持ちを入れ替えてやりました。
諦めちゃいけない。
We thought not give up, just change the attitude towards winning.
Fantastic. And you've got Italy coming forward now in the next game. What's your tactic for the next game with Italy?
次はどう考えて、次の作戦はどうですか？
もういつもと同じように、はい、落ち着いて楽しく笑顔で頑張ります。
We want to play as usual, just to have a fun and relax.
Smile.
Smile.
Excellent. Love your smiles. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy team from Japan winners here this morning here at the mixed doubles curling event at the QRC Winter Games. This afternoon, more action for you here on Sky Sport. We're going to be featuring Korea taking on New Zealand 3 in this afternoon's game. And we've got much more competition for you right throughout the week here at the QRC Winter Games. Fantastic action for us this morning. We've really enjoyed having you with us. For the entire team, I'm Hans Fraunlob. Glad you've enjoyed it. So long from Naseby. beautiful part of New Zealand, Central Otago, Naseby, and boy, oh boy, what a picturesque place Naseby is. It's a gold mining town. It was settled in the 1860s, a stunning part of the country, and the home for this week as we pan over the Maniototo International Curling Rink for the mixed doubles competition here at the QRC Winter Games, New Zealand. In Pyeongchang, that was the debut of mixed doubles as a full mix. So they play a 5-game round robin. The top 3 teams from each pool, they will advance into the medal round. The painted rings, in curling parlance, we call that the house. And there's a great look from the overhead. You can see those 2 black lines intersecting. The line left to right, we call the discipline, is 6 in any one end. Each team delivers 5 stones, plus we have stationary stones that are placed at the beginning of the end. It is a high there. Make sure it goes directly. There's a small hole you can see drilled right into the center of the ice surface, so the measuring device rests right in it. Laser measurement, and that'll determine how many millimeters away that stone is of curlers. We have a look across the ice surface as the players exchange handshakes and exchange gifts prior to the beginning of the game. That the officials having a word with the competitors just to let them know it's almost game time, almost ready to go. And as a former player myself, this is all. Stationary stones are being placed. If you're new to mixed doubles, you cannot remove your opponent's stone from play until 4 stones have been delivered. Korea have earned last rock advantage in the first end by virtue of having from the officials the time clocks are running and that we can get this game underway. Glad you're with us wherever you're joining us. For the Northern Hemisphere countries, this is the beginning of their competitive curling season. For the Southern Hemisphere competitors, it's mid-season. But it's a World Curling Tour sanctioned event and a very... See the starting blocks as Courtney Smith stands on them. It's where the players place their foot to propel them forward across this ice surface. One of their shoes has got a very smooth Teflon coating. That's what lets them glide. And there's a great look at the curling shoes of Courtney Smith. On the right-hand side of our picture, you can see that white Teflon. That's the gliding surface. Hey, Jijang. She's from the city of Wisong in Korea. Games in mixed doubles. So even though she's only 22 years of age, has already accomplished a lot in this sport. There's Heiji. Courtney Smith holding the brush. Yujin Seong leaps out of his delivery to jump up and sweep. Having sweepers on it immediately can be a big advantage, but we see now that Hamish Walker in doubles, when there's only 2 of you, one will spill out of the ring, so nothing in play. We don't often see you concede last rock advantage and your opponent gets the hammer. So there's no real incentive to blanking ends in mixed doubles curling. Full into the top 8.
What are you doing?
They don't look daunted at all. Smith and Ben Smith, the current New Zealand mixed doubles champions. Advantage of that miscue.
So there.
Oh dear.
All there tells us that it's got behind that tee line. It does give Yujin Seong a chance to draw a shot in front of it.